Hi everyone, I'm Abby and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Now, last episode, we started the second trial day and we began to figure out that Luke at me may be the murderer. So we have to continue on with that now. My sis? I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. So then, she's still alive inside your heart. Nicky boy! Oh, Mr. Light. Is it true that the detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definitive proof. But he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lily Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atme want to kill King Bullard? Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. We need to find some solid proof. It's gotta happen sooner rather than later. Yeah. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Look at me, can you please take the stand? Well, how do you do, sir lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. That one would have given me a perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Master Mask. I'm sorry. I'm afraid even the great Look at me has no idea what you mean. Of course. I had been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could know what's been going on in here. You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Master Mask. Indeed. It's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Master Mask? Of course. Very well then, look at me. Let us begin with this simple question. October 12th at 1 a.m., Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. Thanks. Alright, Mr. Atme. The night of the murder, speak. We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. I was stealing the urn as Master Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Master Mask was at the same time as the murder. Seems the main point of discussion will be in this photo of the crime scene. Everything else up until now is all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well. Even the great Master Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. Unfortunately, Mr. Atme, we still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. Who are you, Franziska? I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick. And the only thing that's full of it is his alibi. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point? That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Lily Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent her the card after you began your security watch, right? Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was a perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am. Hey, Nick. Isn't there something odd about this? Huh? Detective Atme was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? And if the urn was stolen from Lily Taylor while he was the only one watching it, You have no way to maintain this perfect ace detective persona. You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. About the camera that took this photograph. Oh, come now. It's all too clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lordly Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lordly Taylor's staff that printed the picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. Looks like I better find something else that could be suspicious. So this alibi is false? It has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB security. But I'm not really spotting anything unusual. There are two possibilities. Either the master mask in this photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed it is. That it is. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. Surely even you understand by now. Lordly Taylor provided that camera. There's no way he could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Kane Bullard unless I had an accomplice. Come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse, and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's gotta be here. Is there something funny about this picture? Are you implying that this picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night before the theft took place, and there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Very well, then let's see what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny? Pink splotch. The funny part is right here. Why this? This is a blood stain. Ah, blood! Now this case is getting interested. Not exactly. The stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint. And peach colored at that. From blood to peaches. The judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is, when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse, it turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. Well, Mr. Wright? What is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains? Remember the golden statue? It was there. And Andrews even said so herself. The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I myself was there the night the theft took place, and saw the statue in that spot. This picture was truly taken on that night, and that statue should have been there. But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was someone pushed there accidentally? Your Honor, the statue was slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it in that distance. Huh. In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why the statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it? Well, Mr. Wright, hope you're prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime? The one who moved the statue was none other than... Look at me. Come now, Sir Lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue. Here's where our battle really begins. Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue? The reason can be found here in this photograph. Look at me. You pretended to be Master Mask to create an alibi by showing you where you were at Lordly Taylor that night. This photograph contains a single fatal flaw. The statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like cheap film at a drugstore. That's why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw? Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? Naturally, the lie in this photo is at the timestamp. What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Look At Me went to KB security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to be at Lordly Taylor at this time. But what does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honor. When was the statue placed beside the warehouse door? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Look At Me had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim, and so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. Ah, so on the day of the crime, Mr. Amiel must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down in a place where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Look At Me had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in his photo. Order. Mr. Ratme, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? What's that? The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera didn't go off on the night of the crime. It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage the data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. Order. Mr. Gatto, what is the meaning of this? Gatto, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down. My 11th cup. I promised you to drink no more than 17 during a trial. Which means, I'm still good to the last drop. However, the defense has a very good point. A good point? So what? We are all but travelers on the road of infinite points. I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points. So you say this photograph is taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make a match. That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied, which is that it's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. And that's very true. No way, don't fall for that, Your Honor. Hey, Mr. Damask. Yes? If there's no funny business in your actions as Mask Damask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn. I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box in Zavadi. It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. That's pretty much all the stuff we've heard before, isn't it? Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave. Unless you're sure there are no mistakes this time? Zavadi. Very well then, Mr. Wright, you may begin cross-examination. Mr. Ratme, if you really are a Mask Damask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course. Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Master Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true, but so what? Truth be told, there is no way the Master Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains? And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite. The day that the second urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say an error-prone human. And that's when the pink pig got on the urn. Ugh, you can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atme has seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? Alright, that did it. He's broken. Nick? I think it's still a little early for a victory pose. Huh? Huh. It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, all of you decided unanimously that this man was Master Mask, and now we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point. No way, don't fall for that too, Your Honor. You say the look at me was the one who killed Kane Bullard. Then let me ask you this. Why would he do that? An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive. Won't you be my merry murderer's motive manifest? Nick, he's getting a second wind. If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron Delight, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron Delight. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in the murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us on what the defendant's motives were. I'd be honest with you, Sir Oldtimer. They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Look at me, I had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote in the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. So the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant. This is a blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. The handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. What? Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright. And you said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delight. I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. You're one to talk. At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior? Indeed, time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradiction evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Eminon, the stolen jewel. What about it? The problem is this jewel's color. Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red? Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Eminon the Master Mask stole at all. And your point is, Mr. Trite? You're trying to say this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is what you're trying to say? Right, Trite? That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright? Well, is that what you're trying to say, right, Nick? Yes. This is who Cane Bowler was actually blackmailing. Naturally, it was you, Detective Atme. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You have been personally involved in every single Master Mask case. In the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring. That is the diamond referred to in the letter, which means that Cane Bowler wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. Ah! Order! Order in the court. Order, I say. It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite. Uh-oh. I don't like the way you said that. Cane Bowler blackmailing Luke at me? Are you for real? Yes, I am. Nick, come on, stand up to him. Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. You don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. Cane Bowler threatened to make Luke Atme's identity public knowledge. An identity wanted to keep secret. Just what was that identity? Atme killed Cane Bowler because he was afraid of a secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret? This is what it all comes down to, Nick. The identity that Luke Atme was wanting to be so desperately keep secret was his identity as Luke Atme was a blackmailer. Objection. Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Cane Bowler was the one blackmailing Luke Atme. Are you saying that Atme was blackmailing someone else on top of that? Ugh, I have to admit that does sound a little odd. It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Cane Bowler was blackmailing Luke Atme. But Rondelli was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Eminon heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans. Detailed plans? In which case, that would mean that Rondelli was actually Master Mask. That's what we were claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and I Mr. Delight steals targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Atme. Shh! Silence! Hee 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 hee. Now I see. It's all becoming clear. What is? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you... You say that I, Luke Atme, was blackmailing Ron Delight, in which case I would naturally know all about his relation to Master Mask. Well, yes. Ron Delight started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime. Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. During the first crime, how did Luke Atme know that Ron Delight was Master Mask? I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention. What do you mean? This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Ron Delight in his garden uniform. It seems that Master Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Ratme. That's when you learned that under his mask, Master Mask was really Ron Delight. What the? Wasn't he supposed to be Master Mask? Not only that, it looks like he wasn't even an ace detective. Can't believe it. He was just a slimy blackmailer. What a fraud. Trying to pass himself off as an ace detective. Why you? How dare you expose me like that? Why I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective and also Master Mask. Why can't you understand that? I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity. Why you? How dare you even apply the ones as smart and capable as I could ever fall to such lowly depths, but not even try doing something yourself with that big mouth of yours. You're all fools. Fools, I say. None of you can even compare to my genius. You're all just jealous. So goon, go disgrace me. Come on, right with. There's only one thing that today's detective cannot handle. Black me out third, I'll find a way to get rid of it all. Ha ha ha! It's enough to make one laugh. Yeah, pulled the Wendigo bag right there, didn't he? I was seeing we finally arrived at the real answer. That was quite a performance by Mr. Ratme. Yeah, let's prepare ourselves for Mr. Ratme. The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge. You don't get much more in your face than that. It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trite. What do you... It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Look At Me was a filthy blackmailer. And that he wasn't at Lordly Tail the night of the murder. That's right. That's why he's the one who killed Mr. Bullet. But... there's still one thing you have yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No way! Order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright, this is it. This is the final round. Got to prove that Latman was at Mr. Bullard's office that night. But can you really prove that? That's long enough, Mr. Trite. I want to hear your answer. That night, Look At Me was at KB security, and the defense... Don't have anything to prove it, though. I can't prove it. Just as I thought. But, if we hear more of Detective Atme's testimony... Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trite. What do you mean? I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean. What? Have you forgotten? Look At Me was here after we interrupted his own trial. And you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as Master Mask. No. Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the wind. After all, I am the ace detective as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron Delight will verify that he's the true murderer, I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Order in the court. It's enough with deliberation over this witness. I can't believe this. At this rate Ron is... Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and... By then it'll be too late. Huh? Why? Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law. Double jeopardy? Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, the defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. That is a fundamental rule of all courts, and it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else. Mr. Atme was found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Master Mask, which means he will be innocent as far as the murder of King Bullard is concerned. No way! The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atme's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as King Bullard's murderer. Ugh! Now there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer will look at me, will go free. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. As long as there is no more testimony, I have to declare there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? And I hereby end the cross-examination. Look at me. I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result. How did you? Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. That voice. No way. Long time no see, Phoenix. Mia. This is the true power of the crane channeling technique. I know that it's really Maya who's standing before me, but right now she's my mentor, Mia Fey. Now, let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine, not yet. The testimony's not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. I've cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. Yes, that's true, but unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks. Well now, Sir Lawyer, it appears that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that, just as Ron Delights will verify that he's the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance when so... Very well, then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert our right to question them. Is that alright with you, prosecutor? Is something the matter, Mr. Gardo? Ah, nothing. Oh, Sir Lawyer, it looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods would do anything to me, look at... Let's hear it. Huh? It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination. Mr. Gardo, what are you... Very well then, Mr. Look at Me. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks. The defense would like to hear why you declare the defendant to be the true murderer. So please, give us one last bit of testimony. Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance. Yes, Chief. Notice the way Gardo seemed a bit spaced out for a moment there? You'll want to remember that. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lily Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job quest. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Ron Delight. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. In the blackmail letter, the victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Zavadi! Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy. This testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well. Witnesses' earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained and none of them seem to contradict anything. But of course... But... I actually know about the emergency buzzer. The police investigation documents went directly through me, and I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, Sir Lawyer. Grrr. Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, Sir Lawyer? Do not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Cannot postpone Look at Me's trial any longer. This is your last chance. Hang on a sec. Just one chance? Ha! It seems the party's about to begin. Well, Phoenix, there isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony. So it would seem. What do you mean, so it would seem? Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. You can't point out a case-breaking contradiction. You lose. That's all there is to it. Cup number 17. The last cup. It seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial. I have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony. and I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find the contradictory remark and press it. Remember, you only get one chance. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your final cross-examination. Yeah, I'd save here, just in case. There we go. Okay, let's see. Mr. Ratmy, about this last remark. You still don't get it, do you, Wright? This isn't the time to be pressing the evidence witness on every little statement. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Gardo. What? Mr. Ratmy, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. How can you say that? Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Ratmy? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit, is that correct? Indeed, that's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof. More like your deductions prove as you're a fool. I'm sorry, whatever do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron Delight was dressed as Master Mask when he went to the scene of the crime? That was, it was just a few hours ago. Back when my sixth cup was looking at me with a cold stare. Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. That's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should know this are those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand, Detective Atme? There is no way that you should have known about that. Yeah. You were in the next courtroom being tried as Master Mask. So then, enlighten us. Just how did you know about that piece of information? Well... Come on. This detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand. And it's those chances that I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit. There was one and only one way for Detective Atme to have found that out. Only one way, you say? Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow in there. For a second, my client witnessed the real killer. Mr. Delight never saw his attacker, so there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was looking at me. It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying? Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron Delight. Impossible. Detective Atme, you saw Master Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when he killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron Delight. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing. Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. That's the same line you gave yesterday. But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. Yeah, convoluted, but yeah. What an awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Look At Me, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. And upon killing his blackmailer, Look At Me tried to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty as Master Mask in order to escape his true crime. And to that end, he came up with this plan. to use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth. Excuse me. We came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of murderer. Don't ignore me! Oh, I didn't realize you were there. Why wouldn't he be... about the verdict. I know, you never committed any murder. That's right, I'm so glad you understand that, but... I really am Master Mask! Huh? So, thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? What was it you said? Double jeopardy? Now that you mention it. I've been careless. Careless? What do you think, Mia? As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime which was once found innocent. Then, Master Mask is really innocent? It would seem so. For now. For now. Now then, the court finds the defendant. Nice. Boy, this is really lucky. Waiter, this isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am Master Mask after all. You did it, Phoenix. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because Mom doesn't call me much these days. Oh? I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days. You mean about becoming the master of the Korean channeling sequel? Becoming the master means saying goodbye to her mother, Misty Faye, right? Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Of course. Well then, see you around. Yeah. Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say. Congratulations, Mr. Light. Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, though, now that all this has happened. Come on, just be happy already. Maya, you've been cleared of the murder charge and got off as Master Mask to boot. But in exchange, I lost everything. Huh? What do you mean? Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Master Mask? I did it all for one reason. For her. You mean your wife, Desiree? She hates criminals more than anything. Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some Wajibas, wasn't she? She always said, how could she hate the sneaky criminals? I knew that, but once I got fired from KP Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure. So that's why you became Master Mask? Yes, but it's all over now. The broken bowl can never be put back together. That's not true, right, Nick? Right. Really? Can we go back to the way things were? You'll be fine, and Nick can prove it. I can? Kinda wish you would check with me first. Mr. Light, even if a bowl is broken, there's always a way to put it back together. The sacred urn. Bessie was the one who found this. Desiree, your wife, she's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything. Ah, there you are. Mr. Light, you did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that. But, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you? Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. I never imagined that you were really Master Mask either. Mr. Light, what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you? Come on, it was obvious, isn't it? I can't have let a wonderful man like him get away. After all, my bike's really fast. So fast as the way you could ever get away. But didn't you say that you hated criminals? Oh, I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective. I see. Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them, like a man. I just love a man who's so chivalrous. Chivalrous? I know I was right about you. Every day spent with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you? Nicky boy? Yes? I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Oh, well, take care of yourself. You too, Nicky boy. I can feel my face going red. Mr. Nick, Mystic Maya, congratulations. Talk about bad timing. Mr. Nick, how could you, with another man's wife in front of Mystic Maya? No, you got her on. I'll never forgive you. Never, ever. Wow. Pearl's quite strong for someone her age and size, yeah. Just as the case came to a close, it in my consciousness. Ron said a broken book can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together even better than before. That's so nice. There we go. Yeah. Convoluted, but interesting. Next case is much the same way too. So yeah, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and comment and subscribe and check out my Twitch and Ko-Fi and Twitter/X. And again, next episode, like the next case will be handling the next case, and it's pretty convoluted too. It's interesting though. One of the better third cases in some ways, yeah. So yeah, look forward to that. And peace off.